be careful who you call your friend, because having the wrong person in your circle could damage you more than an enemy ever could. Hi, I'm Tati, and here are 5 types of friends that you should avoid at all costs. Number 1, the friend that only hits you up when they need something. That person, I'm afraid to say, might be a user. A lot of the times, people will befriend you because they want something from you, whether it's access to something that they may have not been able to achieve on their own, a certain lifestyle, a job, or whatever. Money, especially, because there's definitely some people out there who will literally hit you up only because they need a few dollars. Okay, those are the type of friends you do not want in your life, because they are users, and users abuse their power. So when they're used to using, they have no problem on who they take from. And when someone is constantly taking from you, it depletes you naturally, and then boom, before you know it, you don't have nothing left for yourself, because you're sitting up here and you're sacrificing everything for this friendship or these friends. Meanwhile, they're not pouring back into your cup, and the moment that you say no, now they mad. Now they upset. The first time you tell, no, I can't do it this time, they get so used to you showing up for them and you coming through for them that the moment where you decide to choose yourself, sometimes they catch a tude. Okay, sometimes they catch a whole attitude and make it seem like you never helped them at all. So, for your safety, your concern, I would definitely stay away from friends, quote unquote. We want to use air quotes, because someone that is just using you and not giving you anything in return is not your real friend. But they like to disguise themselves as your friend so that they can get whatever they want from you. Because before we dive into the other 4 types, I do want to let you know that sometimes people will perform friendship to get something from you. Regardless of what that reason is, sometimes friendship can be performative, where you are being more of a friend to them than they ever were being to you. Okay, so it's important that you listen to what I'm telling you and my advice to make sure that you are not surrounding yourself with friends who do not have your best interest at heart. The friend that secretly competes with you. Okay, a lot of the times you don't realize that you are in friendship with someone who is in competition. You're being a true friend to them, but they're looking at you as if you are their number one op. Stay away from people who do that, because a lot of the times you don't even realize someone is competing against you until you look at the signs. A sign that someone is competing with you includes never let you have a moment. Every single moment is made about them. Every single situation where you are the spotlight, they're trying to take the attention off of you and put it back onto them, because they cannot handle the fact that you are taking up the spotlight. A lot of the times people who are in competition with you, or friends that particularly in competition with you, they are battling insecurity, and because they're insecure, your wins feel like threats to them. Your wins feel intimidating to them, because they feel as though, how come you're achieving them things and I'm not achieving those things? And naturally, before you know it, they're starting to compete. You do something or they're trying to do it. Like, it's just like the little things, or they're always trying to ask you like how you're doing something, or if you can teach them. They need a mentor, okay? Because it's nothing wrong with helping friends and giving friends advice or whatever, but if the sole part of y'all friendship is them trying to be in competition with you, you have to have your eyes peeled. You cannot just be out here being genuine and helping out someone who is literally in competition with you. The way to peep it is their excitement depends on how big your win is. So if you have this really huge win that they feel like they may never be able to accomplish, sometimes that reaction is lackluster, and they may not be doing it intentionally, but that low level of reaction is kind of a way to for them to pacify themselves on how to handle your win, but also they don't want to hype you up too much because you're already winning. So they don't want their reaction to be so grand because you're already doing big things. You don't need validation from them too. And it eats them away, because it's like, dang, that's a really big win. Can I accomplish something like that? And if they tell themselves no, that projection happens onto you. So if it's a really big win, baby, you might not hear nothing at all, or the reaction may be very minor and very small. If it's a small win, they'll have no problem celebrating you. Or if it's a win that they feel like they can accomplish and they can do, they have no problem celebrating you. But if it's something that they feel like they doubt themselves or they feel like they'll never be able to achieve, you will definitely see it in their reaction on when you bring up your wins to them. Another way to recognize if a friend is competing with you is that not only will sometimes their celebrations be lackluster, sometimes they'll purposely try to minimize your wins. So you'll be like, oh yeah, I just did so and so and I did this. They'll be like, that's no big deal. Okay, that's nice. I did that too. They'll try to minimize your moment to make the insecurity in their heart feel less than what it already feels. So sometimes when somebody is so insecure, they'll do anything to pacify that pain, because insecurity is just a lack, to me in my opinion, of self-love and self-care. Instead of them trying to make peace with that and working on themselves, unfortunately, the people do project. So they'll project that insecurity onto you, and as a result, minimize your wins. And just your wins, anything that relatively matters to you, they will try to minimize it. Like, it may not always be an accomplishment or whatever, but if you know that you've been interested in posting online or posting on social media and it's something that matters to you, they will try to minimize it or talk you out of doing it, because for one, they either have not been successful with social media. Number one, they either haven't been successful with social media. Number two, maybe they are successful on social media and don't want you to pop off because they don't want you to start taking their followers and their attractions. And people who compete have a very people who compete have a very scarce mindset. Tongue twister. Have a very scarce mindset because of the fact that they feel like it's only just enough in the world. It's not enough for everybody for everybody to get a piece of something. It's only a certain amount and only one person can have it when we all can win. That's a very crab in the barrel mentality, and that also happens a lot with friends who be secretly trying to compete with you. They only want one of y'all to win. They don't want all of y'all to win, which causes conflict, weird scenarios, and just distant that make you just not even want to be friends with that person. They will also often copy you, and most of the time they will never give you credit. So if you do something, next thing you know, they doing it. Let's say you get a new car, now they trying to get a new car. Let's say you trying to save for a house, now they trying to save for a house. They're always trying to copy what you're doing, because low key, no tea, no shade, you are inspirational, but you're not looking to be somebody's mentor. You're looking to be somebody's friend. And if they cannot like segment the difference between what a friendship is supposed to be like and what a mentorship is supposed to be like, they are always going to be in secret competition with you, and that's going to make it awkward, because now you got a carbon copy of yourself when you really just wanted friends. You really wanted friendship, and now they're copying off of you. So that is definitely something to keep out and to pay attention to see if your friends are competing with you. Another red flag is that they will be more excited to be there for you during the times where you're struggling than when you're winning. So when you're struggling, you're down out, they're going to be your biggest supporter. And it's also going to be like crazy, because like you're going to think back, when I was going through stuff, you was really there for me, and now that I'm on top, you quiet. It's going to be a little weird, but don't say I didn't warn you. It's easier for people to be there when you're down in the dumps than for when you're winning, because everybody can relate to struggling. Everybody can relate to some type of capacity not getting their way or things going wrong. We're all human, right? But everybody can't relate to the winning side of things. So sometimes it's easier for people to emotionally be vulnerable and available to you in your time of distress than in your time of success. So please look out for that. Oftentimes they will try to humble you. That goes back to what I said prior, which is minimizing your wins and things that matter to you, but also in front of other people. Sometimes when people get in front of others, they want to compete for attention. So if you're in a group setting, sometimes that may look like you're in front of a group and they'll try to say, oh girl, this is the best I ever seen you look, or boy, them shoes is nice. These are the nicest shoes I ever seen you wear. They'll try to like do a sneaky, nice, nasty compliment to make them look like the cool person in this situation, or make them have all the attention, or make people laugh. They'll try to do that once again to get the attention off of you, to humble you down a couple notches and get it back onto them. Because sometimes people do be intimidated by your confidence. That's just what it is. Some people are intimidated when you love yourself and when you literally show up your authentic and true self. People will hate you for it. So it shouldn't be no surprise that sometimes when somebody is competing with you, they will try to humble you. And although they'll try to copy you, they will try to withhold information from you or try not to introduce you to opportunities. Sometimes they'll gatekeep, because gatekeeping means holding you off of your goals, holding you off of the things that you want, to make themselves happier or feel like they're winning something because you're losing something. People will definitely do that. So if you ever have an inkling or a feeling that, dang, this person is trying to gatekeep opportunities for me, they don't really want to see me win, baby, best believe they're trying to compete with you, and they like the level that you're on. They want to keep you there so they can beat you. And lastly, this point is mainly towards how you feel about things. If you feel like you gotta hide your wins, or you could only talk to them when something negative is happening, and you do see the secret competition, and you do like feel the comparison and all those things, listen to your intuition. You will feel it. You will know it. It will be a weird feeling that you can't unshake every time you're around this person. And if that feeling comes up, you do not need to be their friend. Trust your intuition. Trust how they make you feel. And if they're competing with you, that is not a friend worth having. A true friend is never trying to compete. A true friend wants all their friends to win. A true friend is not going to just show up when something bad is happening to you. A true friend is going to show up for the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, because they love and they care about you. Never keep a friend around who is in secret competition with you, because they literally can't be a friend to themselves. How could they ever be a friend to you? Because competing is rooted in that insecurity. It's rooted in that scarcity mindset. And if they can't show up for themselves so that they're not jealous and envious of other people's lives, how are they going to show up for you? You don't need them. Next type of friend that you need to avoid at all costs is the friend who is disloyal. Okay, because a disloyal friend is rarely ever disloyal one time. Okay, disloyalty is something that, if that's in your character, it's going to show time and time again, because you cannot teach loyalty. It's either in your moral compass or it's not. And someone who is disloyal to you, they will not have a problem with being friends with people that don't like you, or they will not have a problem with hanging out with people who don't have your best interests at heart, because they are not loyal to you. Okay, they're friend to you by convenience. And a lot of the times I realize that people who are disloyal to you often never really liked you. They performed their likeness for you to get proximity, and then once they got proximity, their facade started to show, the mask started to slip. And oftentimes, as good friends to other people, sometimes we try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because we never want to believe that that person is what they're really trying to show. You know what I mean? So my advice to you is, listen to your intuition when it comes to disloyalty. Are they talking about you behind your back? Are they hanging out with people that they know you don't like? When they are with people that they know that you don't like, are they defending you in the rooms that you're not in? Okay, are they doing any weird, finicky, backward things like excluding you from events and including everyone else? You have to look at the actions, because with a disloyal friend, you cannot listen to what they say. You got to look at them actions. So, are you being a loyal friend to me? If you are not being a loyal friend to me, if you are being fake, phony, and on a whole other time than you are on, they got to get away from you, because that's disloyalty rarely just stops after one thing. Once somebody shows you that they are disloyal to you, that's it. Like, you can try to have a conversation with them, but it's like, me personally, I just feel like if you show me who you are, I much rather believe it than try to convince myself that you are something else. Let me save myself the time and the heartache, because you are moving in a way that shows this loyalty. I'm going to listen to my intuition and move on from you. There are plenty of friends that you could be friends with, plenty of people that you could be friends with. Do not settle with someone who is fake, who you cannot trust, who, you know, it's just a shaky, sketchy individual. You do not want to stay friends with somebody who is like that. Also, the same people who will share things that you told them privately. You'll tell them something in confidence, and now everybody know. Now go figure. How do everybody know and I don't talk to everybody? Exactly. So definitely a big indicator that someone is disloyal to you is if they go and they tell your business and they don't care about protecting and keeping that trust between the two of you. The person that, like I said, secretly dislikes you and wants the benefit of friendship without the loyalty to go with it. Run. The moment somebody show you that they're disloyal and they do not have your back, please save yourself the heartache. Believe what you see and move on. Another friend that you should avoid at all cost, the jealous friend. Now, the jealous friend is different from the competitive friend, because the competitive friend has at least a little bit of admiration towards you, to the point where they feel like, oh, she doing her big one, he doing her big one, let me try to compete, let me try to level up, let me try to get in my game. And although I don't feel like that's a healthy friendship, the jealous friend is a little bit worse, because not only do they see that you got something, they're mad that it's you that has it. That is a whole other animal, and we're going to break it down right now. One of the biggest differences between a competitive friend and a jealous friend is the competitive friend wants to get ahead of you, which is still bad. Yes, I know. But the jealous friend is more like, why do you get in and I don't? Ooh, it's like two different sides of the coin with the same pain, because as a friend, you want your friend to win. Why are you questioning the blessings that God has given to me? Okay, that is a little weird, especially because you see your friend grind in and out and work towards their goals. You see everything from the beginning of the time that they start things to when they start to accomplish and check off their goals. Why in the world would you sit up here and say, and why do you get to have it and I don't? That's a nasty spirit there, because at the end of the day, you saw the blood, the sweat, the tears that they put in to get to where they are, and you're still questioning, well, why do they have it? Why do they have it? What? It's not making sense. Point, whether your friend is a jealous friend or not, some things to look out for includes very similar to the competitive, like I said, but a little bit of a nuance, a little bit of a difference. How to make you feel guilty for having nice things. Oh, it must be nice to, get a new pair of shoes. It must be nice to live where you live. It must be nice to drive around the car that you got. They'll hint at the life that you live as if they wish they had it. But what they are not revealing is that sometimes when you're the jealous friend, you become resentful that your friend has it and you don't. That is scary. And even in that success, they will look for little holes in your success to put doubt into your story. Oh, the only reason that you were successful is because XYZ, or the only reason that you was successful because so-and-so helped you out. And the only reason that you were successful is because you grew up in a two-parent house. Whatever the reason is, they will make it seem like your success was just handed to you and like you didn't earn it, because they wish they had the success that you had. They don't get why it happened for you and not for them. So they don't want to get ahead of you per se. They don't get why you have a blessing that they don't have. So it's kind of as if they would prefer, in a perfect world, if you didn't have something and they had it instead. So that's a little bit sinister to me, because like I said, a competitive friend is absolutely someone you don't want in your camp. But with a jealous person, it's like, you're seeing my blessings and telling me you don't think I should deserve to have them. That's not even your praise. And if you're really my friend, why do you feel that way about me? That's crazy. I am getting over a little cold, so if I sound a little nasally, that is why. But they will also try to plant seeds of doubt into your plan. So you'll tell them something and they'll wiggle in all the reasons and whys and holes as why your plan won't work. And are you sure it's gonna work? What about this? What about that? They'll do all of these things to make you doubt yourself, because they don't get why you have what you have in the first place. So if they can make you believe that you shouldn't have it, you'll stop working towards it, and it'll soothe their self-esteem and their ego or whatever else they got going on. They'll struggle to speak highly of you when you are not around. So if you're not in the orbit of them, they will definitely have an issue on speaking positively about you, because they are already feeling resentment towards you because of the positive things that you have going on in your life. A jealous friend sometimes are so miserable within themselves that they struggle to see their friends happy. They struggle to see their friends hit milestones because they don't understand why they're in the situation that they're in and their friend is winning in the situation that they're in. So it's just unfortunate. And I feel like with the jealous friend, if they truly just stopped being miserable and took that energy to love on themselves and work on themselves and do whatever it is that they wanted to do, they wouldn't resent the friend that does. I think the reason why the jealous friend is so jealous is because, number one, they may not believe in themselves to go full throttle on the things that they want to actually do, and two, sometimes they chose the wrong path and they're resentful of choosing the wrong path. Let's say, for example, they chose to have children instead of going to college, or they chose to go back to school late, or whatever the reason is. Sometimes people will be resentful because they chose differently from you and your choices worked out really good for your life, and on the outside looking in, your life looks fantastic, so they're wondering why you have a great life and they don't. It's a lot of comparison, but they don't have the audacity to compete because they are so stuck in where they are. So they're not trying to compete with you necessarily at all. It's just, why do you have that and I don't? So it's definitely a comparison game versus competing. They're comparing a lot, and they're questioning fairness and what's fair and what's going on. It's not fair that you got that and I don't. They just feel like sometimes they were dealt the wrong cards instead of choosing the choices that they chose. A lot of times I do realize sometimes a jealous friend does lack accountability because they'll resent their friend for going back to school or going to college when they chose another path. You can't be mad at somebody for choosing differently from you and then their plan actually working out for them. You could have chose what you chose, but you chose what you chose. So how you gonna be mad? Exactly. They'll support you more when they can relate to you. Once you become unrelatable, they will definitely feel resentment towards you and sometimes may very well distance themselves. For example, and I like to use the school thing because it's very simple and we all been in school. You can all relate to it. Whether you've been in high school, grade school, whatever. School is something that we all relate to, and it's a choice that you can make. Let's say, for example, two friends. One friend chose to go get their master's degree. The other chose to drop out in high school. Whatever the reasons is, the reasons. The person that went to get their master's, they may have, I don't know, landed a 6-figure job that allows them the financial freedom that they always wanted. Meanwhile, the person that decided not to go to school, they are relying on government assistance. They may have to rely on family and friends to help out, and oftentimes they're, living paycheck to paycheck or whatever the reasons is. And like I said, this is just a blanket example because I am aware that in this economy, even with 6 figures, sometimes you can still be unsafe. But I'm using it as an analogy for this point that I'm about to make. The person who dropped out of high school will develop jealousy and resentment for the person that is making over 6 figures with their master's degree, all because of a choice. They chose to drop out. Okay, that person chose to go to school. So the difference in the choices and the alternatives, they worked out, the outcomes, they worked out how they worked out. But the person who dropped out may have more resentment for the person who was doing successful because they both had choices and the person who dropped out chose a different choice that led to a different path. That is very case in point scenario on how a friend who y'all was real close with, real locked in with, can start to drift because they no longer see you as relatable. They are struggling on a day-to-day, and yet you are thriving. You're buying whatever you want to buy. You're flexing on Instagram, whatever the case may be. That resentment festers and it boils because they don't have the financial freedom that you have, and they're trying to figure out why you have it and they don't, and because they no longer can relate to you, it makes them feel resentful. Both was broke. It was cool when y'all both was struggling and trying to find something from whatever, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever. When y'all was both on that same level, it was cool because they could relate to you. But now that you're leveling up, they no longer can relate to you anymore, and it makes them be resentful and also jealous. So that's why I always tell you guys, look at the actions. Look at how people treat you. It'll literally tell you everything that you need to know. You just look at the actions. Just look at them. Look at them. Was they cool with you when y'all was doing the same thing? Did they start to distance themselves once you started to do things that were good for you? Sometimes a jealous friend will only want to be cool with you when it's something negative. Like the competitive friend, they only want to come around when it's negative. Let's say, for example, you like to drink. You like to drink real good. You love you some alcohol. And one day that you decide, I don't want to drink no more. The person that is still liking to drink is no longer going to be relating to you anymore because you don't like to do the things that y'all like to do. So I say all of that to say, with a plethora of examples, if somebody is a jealous friend and they're showing levels of jealousy, or like they don't want you to level up your life and they want you to stay exactly where you are, and if you become more than what you are, then they can't relate to you anymore, they become resentful, you need to run, because you don't want friends that handicap your success. Like, you want friends that do what they want to do and become what they want to become and don't resent you for who you become. You want friends that accept you and love you for who you are and are happy that you're becoming and that you're not the same person that they knew 5 years ago. But hey, who am I? Lastly, they will be more curious about your problems than about your solutions. And like I said, I mentioned this a little bit before with the competitive friend, but it's very much the same. A person who is jealous will be so inquisitive, asking so many questions about negative things that are happening in your life, but when it comes to wins, the conversation is very minimal. They can barely form a whole sentence. And you'll see it'll be so transparent. You can be like, oh, Tati clocked this, I know what to do. Man, oh, Tati peeped this. She said this was going to happen. Bye. You'll be able to just walk away so cleanly because you know how to spot a friend that's secretly jealous of you. Lastly, do not be friends with someone who you are being a friend towards who is not being a friend towards you. That, my friend, is called a one-sided friendship. And oftentimes we don't realize we're in a one-sided friendship until it's too late. But we're going to break it down right now. One-sided friends, sometimes it's not always intentional. And in this case scenario, it doesn't have to do with jealousy, but more about imbalance. You are being more of a friend to them than they are being a friend to you. And for reasons that may not be unknown to you, maybe you are more invested in their friendship than they are invested in your friendship. Whatever the reason is, we're going to break down what to look out for to make sure that you're not being more of a friend to someone that is not being a friend to you. Always need your support. Always. They're always looking for you for advice, for you to come through and, be there for them and support them. But when it comes to supporting you, they are nowhere to be found. This happens often with people that will invite you to events and you'll show up to their events. But then when it's time for you to host an event, they are nowhere to be found. This is someone who you will support and show up for, but that person will not show up and support you. Stake your willingness to help and your availability as an obligation. So you show up so much, they're expecting it. Like, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to show up for me. Meanwhile, they ain't been showing up for you, but they're expecting it of you when they have done nothing to earn that. Now they see your support and your availability to them as an obligation, so they take it for granted. Every single conversation is about them. No matter what's going on, let's say you're telling them something about you or whatever the update is. It don't even have to be an accomplishment. It could be regular conversation. They will somehow spin the conversation to make it about them again. Conversations about you are very small. Most of your conversations are about that person and what they got going on, and anytime you try to interject and share some light about yourself, they swiftly and quickly put it back on them because they could care less about what you got to talk about. They'd rather talk about themselves. They love your advice, but never try to support you and ask how you are doing. Most of the time, they want to pour out how they're feeling and their emotions to you, and they want you to solve it, and they want you to listen, and they want you to give them advice. And then in return, they don't fill your cup up at all. Okay, I know friendship shouldn't be a tit for tat. But if you are constantly there for your friend, it should be no problem for them to be there for you. If they're not, it is indeed a one-sided friendship. If you did not hit them up, y'all will not have a friendship. Okay, you hit them up to check them up. You hit them up to make sure they're okay. You're constantly checking on them. But if you don't text them or you don't call, you don't hear from them, that is another giveaway that person is not invested in the friendship as you are invested in the friendship. And if you didn't keep it going, the friendship could possibly just disintegrate. And oftentimes when you confront them or address the situation, sometimes they will act like they don't know what you're talking about and act like they're confused on the situation because, once again, one-sided friendship, the person oftentimes is a little selfish and self-centered, so they will struggle to take accountability and sometimes see things your way. Lastly, they love, and like I said with the convenience friend, this is a little bit different. A one-sided friendship. They love what you provide to them, but do not care less about giving you anything back into return. That is someone that just likes the attention. They like to be seen. They like to be heard. They like to talk about themselves. That is someone who is just self-centered, and that's okay. They can just be self-centered away from you. That sums up today's video. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, topics that you want to talk about next, make sure y'all comment down below. Don't forget to thumb this video up, share it with your friends, and stay alert. Like, I know this is a YouTube video, but I really want you to lock in and know who's really for you and who's not, because it truly can save you a lot of heartache. I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.